Welcome back. We're going to dive straight in. We got another call review today with a high level prospect. A lot of you who watch my page, you sell to smart people. You know that the typical gimmicks and tactics that you see on the internet, that you see on a bunch of reels don't work. Today, we are selling to a doctor who makes, I think he said 400 or 500 grand a year, something along those lines. And I'm going to show you exactly what it takes to get this type of person over the line, the type of person who's done his research, who's probably spoken to other companies, who has a guard, and what it takes to not only challenge that person, but to also get them over the line. Because the thing is, guys, the space is changing, and the offers that are worth actually selling for, most offers are shit. The offers that are actually worth selling for are going to be with more sophisticated prospects. And so the quicker you learn how to sell to smart people who have money, the more money you're going to make. This dude in particular was full of objections. He was constantly canceling calls with us, and he threw every excuse at me under the sun. And you're going to see how everything stacks and stacks throughout the call to lead to getting him to move forward at the end. So the only way you are going to get value out of this video is by watching the entire thing, so you can see how everything that I'm saying stacks. You can see how my aggression slowly goes up as the call progresses. So I am fully caffeinated. I got my mini hookah with me. You guys prepare to get some value. Let's dive the fuck in. So how we're going to do this is we're going to go stage by stage in the call. Okay. The main stages are the frame, setting the frame, getting the problems / challenges, challenging the prospect, also known as ethical gaslighting, painting what that heaven island would look like, success, ripping it away with consequence, and then pitching. Ultimately, what we're going to go through, probably not going to go through the pitch, but everything from A through Z in discovery leading to that. So the first part here is going to be the frame, right? So this part of the call is very simple. There's 3 objectives. It's to frame the call and let him know how it's going to go, what to expect, put him in a decision-making state, and then drop his guard. Those are 3 things that we're shooting for in this first part of the call. So let's see me check all 3 of these boxes.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm staying out of trouble. How are you?
Good. Seeing patients, got 2 admissions waiting for me, and hoping to make it to the gym later.
Nice. Sounds busy. You hear me good?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you see me good?
Yep.
I can hear you. I just can't quite see you yet.
Let me see if I can fix that. Sorry.
So off the rip, I can hear you, but I can't quite see you yet. This is a very subtle but direct way to tell him turn his fucking camera on, right? Let's keep going.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not. Oh, here we go. Start video.
There he is. There
Cool.
he is.
Got it.
Perfect. Cool. Well, it looks like you are looking at potentially getting some like expert physician coaching. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, I have some notes here from, looks like you spoke to, looks like we're dealing with a little bit of charting overwhelm. Overall, just like wanting to have more time. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool. Well, I'll make sure we cover everything. My name's Nick, Dr. Right-Hand Man. I'm the Director of Physician Wellness here. And so work with hundreds and hundreds of clinicians in a pretty similar spot as you. Give you a little context here. Our approach is super tailored and super custom. So it's not just cookie cutter, one shoe fits all, right? With that said, though, it's important for us to understand what you're actually going through so we could put together something more custom if it were to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what we'll do today, I'll listen to a little more about your situation, see if we could help. If we can, we'll pivot. I'll walk you through possible next steps. If not, again, I've done this hundreds of times. I'll still point you in the best direction. Like, even if coaching's not for you, it's not for everyone. Would that help?
Sure.
So I hit all 3 of the boxes, right? I put him in a decision-making state, basically telling him that, you know, if things feel good, we're going to talk about potential next steps. I framed the call and I let him know how it's going to go. I dropped his guard by saying if it doesn't make sense, I'll point him in the right direction. I will say though, it was like pretty fucking long-winded. So if I change anything, I would just make it a lot more direct and I would just say less, right? But we fucking got it. We got through. Now we're getting into the problem stage. And with the problem stage, there's 3 key objectives. Before I get into the objectives, most important part here is finding the problem and the challenges, problems, challenges, whatever, and understanding that 90% of the sale is either made or lost here. Out of the hundreds of calls that I've reviewed, we rarely ever get past the problem stage. This is where majority of you are losing your sales. So the 3 things that we're looking for is what are the problems themselves? So in other words, the logic, like what's the literal problem? What is the emotional effect of those problems? And then the duration, how long has it been going on?
Easy. So let's rewind, man. I have notes here. Notes are notes. I like to act like I just don't see any of that. From you, like, what are the ultimate challenges you're hoping to get?
Don't let that go over your head, right? I said I have notes here, but notes are notes. Why am I saying? I'm saying that because I don't want him to say, "Oh, well, I already told the other fucking guy my problem, so can you just tell me what to do?" Right? I'm already ripping that away. I don't know if any guy, I'm sure y'all do. You try to start the conversation and then they try to refer back to the conversation that they had with the setter. I don't give a fuck what the setter said. I don't give a fuck what the notes say. I like to act like it doesn't exist. I want to hear it from you. Let's keep going.
I get some help with.
Boundaries, charting, making a schedule. It's like reasonable. And let's see. How to handle difficult conversations. Yeah, things like that.
Got you.
So he just threw a whole lot of shit at me there, right? But this is why taking notes, taking quality notes is important, because as you're about to see, we're about to dive into each and every one of those things that he just gave me.
So you threw a bit at me there. So boundaries, what are you seeing that makes you feel like boundaries is potentially like a challenge?
So yeah, there's times where, I just get thrown into being on call. I work for a staffing company for skilled nursing facilities. So, like around New Year's, I got a message saying, one of the other doctors, his mother is sick in another country. He has to fly out to see her. So during my whole New Year's weekend, I was responding to phone calls, responding to text messages. And I mean, I think he would do the same for me, but, there's really nothing I could do.
And how do you feel like that was a boundaries problem for you?
I mean, I was looking forward to, partying with friends, not having to think about work.
Yeah.
So we're just probing here, right? He said boundaries is a problem, and I asked him, what are you saying that makes you feel that way? And then he told me a story, but we need to probe even deeper to why does he feel like that specifically is a boundaries problem, right? That's how you probe.
The company is working on getting this service called Third Eye. Doctors working through telemedicine to handle things like that.
Yeah.
Tonight, so they're working on getting that, but they've been saying they've been working on that for 6 months now. So
you know what that means, right?
Right.
That's how they keep you on the hook.
Right.
And so when you mentioned this as kind of being a boundaries thing, was it tough for you to just tell them, no, I have a life, I'm not going to be on call?
Right. I can't say no, basically. I mean, I can't even imagine what would have had.
What do you think? Is it like, what do you think would happen if you said no? I have a life. If you can't just throw me on call.
Maybe the CEO of the company would get on the phone with me and say, "Hey, what's going on?"
Gotcha. And I'll make sure we get back to that. But then you said charting and a reasonable schedule. What does their charting situation look like?
Again, remember, he gave me 3 problems, right? So we just got the first one figured out. Now we're going to get into the next 2, right? The problem here is a lot of you will hear a problem, you'll only go for that problem. It's like, well, you'll hear multiple problems, but then you'll only go for one of them. He gave you a bunch. Fucking unpack all of them. This is how you build urgency. This is also how you get the context that you need so that you can be able to challenge him when this way of thinking that doesn't serve him shows up. But you can't challenge him without context. You feel me? Let's keep going.
So charting, I have a setup where I hired a scribe in the Philippines, and she's been great. I record into a file my dictations, and she charts everything for me. She knows my templates, and that's been going great for like over a year now. But I still have to spend the time to dictate, read the notes. I get multiple admissions each day. I got a round on patients, so it takes about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours per day.
And I'm sure you're able to kind of like leave work at work, right? Like it doesn't follow you home.
Boom. What do we do there? We're minimizing it so you can maximize it, right? I am purposely making the problem seem smaller than it is, because if I try to make the problem seem bigger, human nature is he's going to make it seem smaller. So if I said, damn, that must be rough, and I'm sure it's taking it home and all this shit, he'd be like, man, no, it's not that bad. Versus if I'm the one who minimizes it, if I'm the one who says, oh, I'm sure you're not taking it home, he's gonna maximize it. He's gonna be like, oh no, you don't even understand.
I have an office here at the nursing facilities, but I don't like to stay here because people will keep coming and knocking on the door, interrupting. I go home, I work from home, do all my notes at home, put in orders from home. But yeah, I mean, it's always a constant battle. Like, stay home, put in orders, do my dictations, or try to get to the gym. And then after the gym, I come back and work on notes. Like, I wake up late, wake up around 10 a.m. Takes me like 2-3 hours to get ready, make breakfast, review labs. Yeah.
So this 2 hours that we're talking about, this is like 2 hours at home that you're typically spending charting?
Yeah, I mean, it depends.
What does that take away from?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes away from being so.
Boom. So now we can start to bridge into more of the emotional problems, right? When it comes to selling to smart people, you always want to start with the logical problems and then bridge it into the emotional. So now I know that it's boundaries and that it's charting, and I know he's taking it home. So now I can understand what does that take away from, and I quantify the amount of time that it takes him at home, which is 2 hours. Now we can find out what it takes away from. Let's keep going. We're still in problems.
Social, going out on dates, things like that.
I don't know.
Hey.
Single guy.
And I forgot to say this earlier, right? But the thing about the problems, what we're looking for here is, and this is 90% of the sale is either made or lost right here, right? Okay, so now we're getting into the emotional side of things because we checked off the problems, which is the logical part. Now we're getting into the emotional, which is what is that taking away from? And he told me he's taking 2 hours a day, charting at home. And so now we're gonna understand what that shit takes away from, right? And he says going on dates, I'll play this part back.
Yeah, I mean, it depends.
What does that take away from?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes away from being social, going out on dates, things like that.
I don't know. Single guy.
Right.
Got you. Are you single with no kids or?
Yes, single with no kids. Sort of dating off and on. An old flame. We have a trip to the Bahamas in February, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah, and like, this is interesting when it comes to like physician relationships, right? Because what do you feel like are the ramifications if you don't actually get this charting like under control and the boundaries under control? What happens then?
This weekend I went to a trip to Miami. It was sort of a last minute trip with some old residency buddies, and there was like. I was seeing patients Thursday morning, and then I drove straight to the airport, and I was like doing dictations on my phone in the airport lounge, and I still have some work from Thursday that I got to finish.
This is exactly why I say the problem stage is the most important part of the call, right? And how deep you can get here. Listen to how specific we're getting. Like, this dude is telling me he is in Live popping bottles thinking about charts and dictations and shit. Right? It's a terrible quality of life. But I wouldn't have understood that if I didn't get specific, if I didn't probe right here, right?
So,
yeah. And do you think that this kind of a schedule, this kind of a routine is like, what's the word? Do you think it's conducive to actually being able to maintain like a romantic relationship if you continue working the way you are, having this lack of boundaries?
Yeah, it's probably not great. I feel like it's been the normal for so long. I'm just sort of used to it. And the lady that I'm dating, she also has this like.
Did you catch that? That is a red flag. He just told me that this has been the norm for what he's used to. So if we don't challenge him, which I will later on, if we don't challenge this type of language, he's gonna continue to stick to what's normal, especially when he hears a $12,000 price tag at the end of the call. Let's keep going.
Like a high up position at a corporation, and she works really hard. So I guess we're both colleagues.
Normal is a funny word because like there's no real definition of normal. It's what we make normal. So it doesn't have to be normal, right? And then I think you said something about like a reasonable schedule.
Planting seeds planting seeds. Normal is a funny word because there's no real definition of it. It's only what we accept to be normal. We decide what's normal. All right, I'm gonna come back to this later, and I'm gonna challenge him harder later, but that's a way of thinking that we have to start planting seeds to take away from him, right? Because it doesn't serve him.
What did you mean there?
You know, I would consider myself a night owl. I used to be a nocturnist for years. You know, I just naturally like staying up late. I like play video games, watch movies, try to work on personal projects. But yeah, you know, I realized that I end up staying up late because I'm like, after I get my notes done, I'm like, okay, now I finally have personal me time. But it's already so late, it's after midnight. So I end up staying up until like 1, 2, 3, doing things that I enjoy. So, you know, I think for like a normal 9 to 5 person, they would be doing it at like between, you know, 6 to 10.
Right. I mean, if you could get 2 hours of your day back, right? Like that's still 2 hours of sleep and still being able to do the things you like.
Yes.
How long have you been feeling this way? How long have these things?
So we got the problem itself, boundaries, schedule, and charting. So we got those. We got the effects that he's not able to date as efficiently and effectively as he'd like to. And he's popping bottles and live thinking about dictations and charts, right? Now we're about to find out the duration.
Going on, the boundaries, the charting, the schedule. Back to.
Probably a good amount of time. I mean, 3 years. I switched from travel hospitals to nursing homes 2023. So I've been doing this for almost 2 years now.
Okay, so 2 years is how long you've been feeling like the charting and the boundaries like should be better.
Yeah, you know, the money is awesome. It's the best money I've ever made, and I'm really happy about that. I was able, you know, build up my investments, you know, still pay down my student loan.
I'm asking him how long he's been in this place that he just doesn't have a fucking life. And what is he doing? He's telling me how good the money is. He's rationalizing. He's ultimately trying to convince himself that even though his situation sucks, it's not that bad because he's making good money. Let's keep going.
But yeah,
I'm sure the money's good, right? But it's at what expense, right? Like
right.
in that 2 to 3 years, what steps would you say you've taken to?
So we're moving on from problem stage, right? Now we're gonna move on to what I call ethical gaslighting. And this is where we're gonna challenge him for not being proactive enough to solving his problem. And you can see we ripped through this shit fast. We're only 10 minutes into the call. Now we're gonna talk about what has he done to try to solve this, and then again challenging him on either not doing anything or not doing enough. So the ways of thinking that have kept him stuck previously, they don't continue to keep him stuck. Which, speaking of, thing here is congruency is really important, right? In order for this part of the call to land, which is the second most important part, is you have to be congruent with the words that you're saying. If someone says that they haven't moved forward because of the money, because of the time, or because they didn't know where to start, or ego, or whatever, and this is the same fucking excuse that you are giving yourself, it's gonna be really hard to call them out on it, at least not with conviction, until you can get out of your own way and you can call yourself out on it. So I'm sure a lot of you are watching right now, knowing you need to get advanced support, knowing you need to get training, maybe you need to get on a better offer, but you're watching YouTube videos and you're trying to rely on yourself to solve it. Now, I take on an additional 5 clients every single month. This isn't a fucking marketing thing. I work one-on-one with my clients. I take on an additional 5 every month. If you are tired of trying to piece together information, if you're ready to finally be congruent, like Chris here, who went from 3K a month to 30K a month, also selling to sophisticated prospects, or D'Aven here making 26 grand a month, or Alex making 10 grand a month as a setter, the thing these 3 gentlemen have in common, they were congruent and they did not try to figure it out on their own. So if you want to be one of the 5 people that I work with, in A, helping you find your place on the right offer, and B, training you up to be able to actually last on that offer, hit the link below, speak directly to me. We'll see if the shit's a fit. But let's now dive into ethical gaslighting. And to give a checkpoint of what we're looking for here in ethical gaslighting, it's finding out the duration where he got, so finding out what he's done, challenging him on not doing it enough or not doing anything. And then after that, asking him if he's ready to overcome that way of thinking that's led to him not doing anything or doing enough, and if we can keep him accountable. So 4 things we're looking for here. Let's keep going.
Being able to set better boundaries, to be more efficient with charting so that you can actually be social, be able to date. Like, what would you say you've done to be able to improve these things?
I did the scribe. I hired her myself, and then I told my company, and they actually ended up hiring her and bringing her on. So now the company pays for her. Right? I was able to train her to do my charting exactly how I liked it. The other thing I've been thinking about is having her to put in orders for me. Could be risky, but I think if I train her well enough, that could also be a huge time too.
So I guess like we've taken some steps, right? Like you hired the scribe from the Philippines. What do you feel like is the reason, we still are struggling with boundaries? We're still struggling with charting despite hiring her.
I mean, it's a busy job. I mean, I see a lot of patients per day.
What am I doing here? I'm trying to get him to take ownership over having not done enough to solve this, right? We still haven't really been able to do that. Let's keep going.
Let's see, I just saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I just saw 22 patients that I already known about, and then I just got a message that 2 admissions just arrived, so I gotta go down and see each one. It might take 20, 30 minutes for those, and then I'll get home and it'll be, it'll probably be 6:37. So yeah, I mean,
which is pretty standard, right? Like we see that across most of the doctors we work with. I guess let me ask you this, like,
and the reason I said that is because he's trying to externalize, like, I am such a special snowflake because I have so many patients that I need to see. But I'm like, dog, that's normal, right? A lot of the doctors that we speak to have 20, 22 patients a day, or in this case, 24. Like, this isn't you're not special, basically. I still need him to take ownership because he hasn't done that yet.
What are you hoping then that a physician coach could potentially help you with that you haven't been able to solve on your own?
Maybe my charting is too much. Maybe there's some tricks that she could tell me. Maybe coaching on like setting boundaries. I think I do a pretty good job with boundaries. Like sometimes I'll just be like, no, I'm sorry, I have to leave. It's not fair to me. I have my own life. Like sometimes I'll be walking out, just going from the office down the hallway to the front of the building. People are constantly, coming to me like zombies. So, all right, that's it. Send me a message. We have like a messaging system called e-Medicall, and they type a message and it'll go to the person on call.
Yeah. So I guess like, why do you feel like, in your opinion, you still haven't been able to solve this? Like, you setting some boundaries, right? Your charting has gotten a little better. Like, where do you feel like you're looking to go to that alone you haven't been able to go to?
I don't know. That's why I'm checking you guys out.
Okay. What do you think is...
That's why I'm checking you guys out. What is he doing? He is trying to put the responsibility on me. I don't even think he realizes he's doing that. He's trying to put the responsibility on me. 1. 2, painting himself like he already kind of has it figured out, right? And he's just like seeing what we have to offer, and it's like, yeah, I already kind of have it under control, but if you can make it better, I thought I'd jump on. Mind you, like I said earlier, this dude's been canceling calls with us for months. We're not gonna let that shit slide. Let's keep going.
Missing, like, are you okay kind of continuing, going through another 2, 3, 4 years, not having much of a social life, having an irregular sleep schedule, struggling with boundaries? Like, if nothing changes the next 3, 4 years, are you fine with that?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see burnout.
Why can you see burnout if nothing changes?
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I mean, I handle 2 big nursing facilities. So I was thinking maybe just cut one out and make half the amount of money and be happier. So,
but do you think half the amount of money you'd be happier though?
Maybe if I could, maybe working so hard is not the answer. I mean,
do you think there's a world where you work the same amount that you're working, make the same amount, but be able to have a life and be able to
I'm steering him away from a solution that doesn't involve. There's a lot of nuanced shit going on right here. And like, this is the point a lot of you lose deals, right? So he's trying to now convince himself that the solution is just to work less as opposed to be better at his job. You have to rip that way of thinking away from him, right? Watch how I do it.
Not be so drawn with work. Do you think a world like that exists?
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. I mean, I have friends that are hospitalists. I don't want to go back to being a hospitalist. It was pretty rough. I mean, you do a 7 on, 7 off. It's very draining afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have weekends. Clinic it was terrible. I never liked clinic in residency.
Yeah.
Still, it's sort of a mixture in between. I make my own hours, but I still definitely work a lot. Make great money, but yeah, it's a stressful job, high risk. So, but
Like, what do you feel? Be real with me. My goal is to help you out here, right? What do you feel like has prevented you from actually getting that guidance, getting that coaching, as opposed to continuing trying to figure it out alone in that 3 years?
So in hindsight, I probably would have asked this question like a long time ago, maybe like 4 or 5 minutes ago when he told me that he had a scribe. I think we took a little long to get here, but now this is gonna finally expose his excuse that he's been telling himself, and if not handled, he's gonna tell me at the end of the call. Let's keep going.
I guess I just thought this is the way it is. I had a mentor who also does this kind of work, and he sort of helped me to get this job. And I always feel like if he could do it, I can do it too. You know.
Yeah. So ultimately, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But a sense of like pride, right? Like, I don't need anybody to help me.
True.
Yeah. And do you see how this way of thinking of I could figure it out alone, I don't need anybody, do you see how this way of thinking has like held you back a little bit?
So we found out what he's done to try to solve this, and now we're challenging him on not doing enough, and then we're gonna ask him if he's ready to overcome it and if we can keep him accountable. So now we're about to check off box number 2 here. It took me longer than it would now, right?
Yeah. I can see that.
What do you think it has?
Maybe it's made me like a workaholic.
Right.
You know, having enough free time to push into my personal family life, things like that.
Right, which takes a lot of self-awareness to look in the mirror and be able to say that, right? And like,
So now we are rewarding. So he's answering, before he wasn't answering in alignment with the type of person he wants to be, which is ultimately the type of person who buys. Now he is. And so we're rewarding that so he can continue to be in alignment with that, right? And he can, of course, get the outcomes that he wants and then also move forward.
do you think that this way of thinking is worth holding on to, or should we probably start to look at things a little different?
Yeah, I agree. I think I should take some steps to improve it.
Yeah, and like, why now to change, to take those steps to improve it, rather than continuing to do what we've been doing? Why now?
So boom, are you ready to overcome it? Why now? And then the last part of it, this portion of the call is, do I have your permission to keep you accountable?
Like getting older, 41. You know, to have a family, you should really step on it. Like my dad had me when he was 33, so
Yeah.
we're behind.
Yeah, and like because as a doctor, you know, right? Our brains are funny in the way they work. It shows itself in different ways, right? One part of you knows that this isn't a healthy way to continue living and wants to break free of that, but the other side is so comfortable and familiar and will kind of keep you there, right? And so if that version of yourself that you're trying to get away from, if it were to kind of try to keep you there, like, I guess what measures like internally are you going to do to be able to actually push past it? Because it's inevitably going to happen. How are you going to be able to push that side of your brain telling you to stay where you are?
So first, I'm gonna understand what I need him to own the fact that this way of thinking is gonna show itself and what he's gonna do to overcome it before I ask him if I could keep him accountable to overcoming it.
I know change can be difficult. If I see like a healthier path, then I'll just give it a shot.
Yeah. And would we as your coaches have your permission to keeping you accountable to actually overcoming that way of thinking?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
Are you sure? Because I'm not always very nice.
Boom, do I have your permission to keep you accountable? Yes. Are you sure? Because I'm not always very nice. My fucking favorite thing to say. So now we have ripped this way of thinking of, I just need to get a new job. That would have been a potential objection of like, oh, I don't need coaching, I just need a new job, right? Or he said something about already having a mentor, ripped that away. Now, the fact that he could figure it out alone, we ripped all that shit away. And he gave us permission to keep him accountable. In other words, permission to objection handle him, right? Now we can move on. Now what we're gonna move on to is what's called the heaven or the solution stage. This is where we get them fucking dreaming, right? This is where now we're talking about the possibility of success, what life looks like once this problem is actually solved. And so the key objectives here is future pacing him, is DQing other solutions, and then having him sell himself on our solution. Let's jump in.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does like success look like, man? Let's paint that picture, right? Let's say you're 6 months out, you're comfortable setting healthy boundaries, the charts aren't taking up so much time, right? You have a regular schedule. How do things look then compared to now? What does that actually change for you?
Maybe have more time for, hobbies, more time to spend with family, further into a relationship.
And like, is your lady, how long have y'all been together?
Since COVID.
Okay. Is she, I know how they could get. Is she giving you pressure of like, babe, we should probably start thinking about a family and marriage and kids, or not yet?
Yeah, last time we went to a club, maybe like 2 months ago, her friend was there, and her friend like sort of cornered me, and she's like, hey, what are you doing, my friend? Stop wasting her time. You have to put a ring on. So
Powerful. That's powerful right there. He has no work-life balance. He's been with his lady for a long time, and her friends are pressuring him to put a ring on it or stop wasting her time. That's some super powerful shit when it comes to, again, this is urgency, right? When it comes to him actually moving forward, taking action to do something because of shit like that, right? These are the real reasons someone's going to have to move forward. Not just because I just want to see what you guys do, like he said earlier. It's because of shit like this.
And she was like nearby, and I'm sure she heard it. And I was like, this is not your business. And
Damn, how did that make you feel?
well, we've never had like serious talks, if we're exclusive or not.
Yeah.
She a lot for her job. I like to travel. We enjoy each other's company. We spend a lot of time together, but I'm not sure. I'm just sort of still on the fence.
Yeah. If her friend is comfortable saying that to you, they are damn sure having conversations about it, even if your girl's not saying it to you, right? And so like, it sounds like you have some pretty important goals here. Being able to do with these hobbies, being able to actually get more serious in the relationship, have a family, right?
So it looks like I ran this call a little differently because I DQ'd other solutions earlier on, and I had him sell himself on our solution a little earlier on by asking him, what do you think a coach could do that maybe you're not getting for yourself right now? So I didn't handle it the way I typically would because I remembered I had already asked those questions earlier. There's a lesson in that. First of all, I need to do a better job following the fucking process. But secondly, this is you being able to roll with the punches and being able to read the room. Like, as long as the boxes are checked, for the most part, as long as the boxes of a sales process are checked, there isn't like a super strict fucking rule that they have to be checked in this particular time, right? Conversations are dynamic, but I know I hit those points. And so now what we're moving on to is hell, or otherwise known as the consequence stage, and ultimately figuring out what happens if nothing changes, right? What happens if he continues to be in this place? Is he willing to allow that? Is he willing to settle for that?
I definitely think what we're doing here would work for you. Is it okay if I ask you an honest question though?
Sure.
Yeah.
Two sides to every coin, right? Like, one side of that coin, we do push past limitations, right? The mental barriers we talked about. 6-7 months from now, we're having a totally different conversation. Like, things can change quick if you change. So 6-7 months from now, that's the conversation we're having. You are able to have more of this bandwidth personally, to take on more hobbies, travel more if you want, get more serious in the relationship. But it's because temporarily you got uncomfortable and actually got the guidance to do so and overcame the pride, right? But the other side is maybe that side that I was talking about that wants to keep you where you are, it wins. and we continue doing what we've been doing, we don't make the changes, we don't get the help. 6 months go by, nothing changes. Still frustrated about the same thing. What would bother you about that still being your situation?
So, again, this is like a call from like a year ago, but the thing about how I asked the consequence question is I'm not just saying what happens if nothing changes, but I'm bringing context from what we spoke about earlier. So what happens if this problem continues, this problem, and then the reason that you haven't done anything continues to show itself, which in his case is pride, right? The reason that you haven't taken action, you don't overcome that, and then you just continue to not take action. What are the consequences there?
Repeat the lessons.
Yeah, like what would bother you if 6 months went by and that's still your situation? Nothing changing ultimately because you didn't change.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel, I'm not evolving, and I'd be sad about that. I mean, these are inner conversations I've had in my head. This isn't probably good to keep doing this. I mean, I just sort of compartmentalize it as work hard, party hard.
Yeah.
When I do have time off, I travel, have a good time, and then hit the ground running when I come back. So
Traveling like as a band-aid kind of, right? And like, are you, again, this is coming from a good place, man. I hope you're taking it this way. Are you willing to continue settling for that?
Are you willing to settle for that? Why? Because he's rationalizing. He's trying to, again, convince himself the way of thinking that we kind of took away from earlier is showing itself again right here in consequence. He's trying to convince himself that it's not that bad because he makes good money, right? Again, the dude makes like probably 400 or 500 grand a year, but he has a shit life. So we're gonna hold him to the standard of who he wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, the money's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I just figured it was like, I'm young, I'm in my prime, I need to work hard.
See, he's delusional, and it's like no disrespect to him, but he's delusional. It's because he's trying to convince himself to stay the same, trying to convince himself that his situation is not that bad. And he's telling himself he's young. Dog, you're fucking 41 years old, right? You have to help these people get real with their situation, not just for the sale, but so they can actually change.
Most doctors in my situation are probably doing the same. So.
Can I give you my 2 cents? Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
You're 41, brother.
Right.
You're not still young.
Ooh! You're 41. You are not still young. How many people in his life are saying shit like that to him? Not many. How many people are being that honest and direct with him? Like, I asked him a consequence question and he pretty much said that if nothing changes, it's not the end of the world because he's still young. This is the same dude, if you remember earlier, said, I'm getting older, I'm 41. Now he's still young. Same dude who was saying, my dad had me at 33, I should probably be starting a family now. Again, I'm 41. Now he's young. This is how people talk themselves out of buying. You can't let this shit go over your head. It happens throughout the entire call. And if you consistently let them get away with stuff like this, they stay stuck, you stay fucking chasing them in follow-up land. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
You're not still young. You're 41.
Mm-hmm.
And the goals you have of moving into starting a family are getting closer and closer. And so are you willing to continue settling for optimizing for work, knowing that you want a family, knowing that you want more out of life? Are you willing to continue settling for putting yourself last for a paycheck?
Yeah,
Come on. Gotta have these types of conversations.
that's a good question. I mean, I should not be living to work, I should be working to live. So
But that doesn't answer my question of if you're willing to keep settling for it.
He just gave me a Tony Robbins motivational speech. This is to deflect the tension. Didn't answer my fucking question though.
I'm ready to make the change. I'm willing to take it.
And someone in the comments said that I curse too much. Someone said I curse too much and the content's great. If only I could stop cursing. Hopefully you're watching this, brother. I will never stop cursing. I will never clean up the language for the content. And if that offends any of you, then working with me you would probably hate working with me if cursing offends you. Because I curse like a fucking sailor. Just wanted to say that because I realized I've been cursing a lot today.
You don't have to take a pay cut. You just have to be more efficient.
Right, yeah.
Get the guidance to do so, but you have to be ready to change though.
Yeah, That's why.
Are you willing to change, or are you willing to continue settling for the same thing?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why I didn't shut you guys out. I would have been like, no, I can do this on my own. So I'm gonna give you guys a chance.
Yeah.
He's still deflecting. He's still fucking deflecting.
And like we're right now, it's almost like going to the kitchen, right? And you say you're fucking hungry, and then you go to the kitchen. You could go to the kitchen, open up the fridge doors, look around, and then not make yourself food and get out. So being on the call is a good first step, but at the end of the day, we're just in the kitchen right now. And so like what actually changed or what shifted internally to where you're not willing to continue settling for that and you are ready to make a different move? Is it just new year, new me, some hyped up motivation that's here today and gone tomorrow? What actually shifted internally that you're not willing to continue settling for that?
Just constant stress, pressure, and reading the testimonials on the Gallup site. I was like, all right, let's give it a shot.
Oh yeah, and I'm proud of you for taking that step. And so if things actually feel good, if it feels like there's alignment, you're ready to actually step out of the comfortability and take that step if things feel good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, totally feels like what we're doing here would work for you.
And then boom, we get into the pitch, right? This is the type of dude who you have to hold to a very high standard, and you have to do it the entire call. As you can see here, can't let him get off the hook, because you give him an inch, it's going to take a mile. And again, it's ultimately not serving the guy. He had some slight objections, and that will be like a whole other video. So if you guys want to see me handle the objections that he gave, this video is already long as fuck. We're like, what, 50 minutes in? But if you want to see me handle his objection, just comment the word objection down below on this video, and I got you. Again, I take on an additional 5 clients every single month. If you need help finding your place on the right offer and being equipped with the skills to actually last on that offer, you want to start understanding what people mean by what they say and not just taking at service level. So you're not constantly battling objections, or if you are, it's maybe like 10-15 minutes like this guy here. Just hit the link down below. You're gonna book a call to speak directly with me. We're gonna see if it makes sense so that you can potentially get results like Chris here, who went from 3K a month to 30, David hitting 26K a month, or Alex hitting 10K a month as a motherfucking setter. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Peace.